Good morning, Facebook Live. Sorry, that feed, it was going in and out. I was losing my signal. So I thought I'd jump back on here. And the description was, everything begins with a decision. Every change begins with a decision. And then all you need to do is maintain, manage, do the things that you need to do to keep that decision going forward. So what does it take? Hey, Shane, how are you, buddy? So what does it take to come to a point to make a decision? Now, for a lot of people, for myself included, a lot of the past decisions I made were made because I hit a bottom. I got to a point in my life where it was so painful that I became open-minded, that maybe my way wasn't working, and I was willing to make a decision. I wasn't sure exactly what that decision looked like. I wasn't sure exactly where I'd go to get help to make that decision, but it has to start here. Every vision, every change first occurs here. I believe now I make many decisions in my life that are not pain driven. They start with a thought, they start with a focus. You know, the way to make dreams reality is that you have to do the steps, and the steps will lead you to the reality of a dream, of a vision, of where you want to go. But it all starts with making a decision. Some of the things for me that kept me from making that decision were, before I even started, it was too hard. Before I even started, in my head, the committee up here said, you know what, it's too hard. The other thing is, I didn't want to lose what I had. Even though I had a lot of pain and misery, and I didn't want to lose certain friends, I didn't want to lose certain activities that really, they weren't that fun. And even if they were, what I had to sacrifice in order to have those moments of fun, I was losing a lifetime of peace. So, there's a lot of things. I didn't want to look like a failure. I don't want to look like, my pride and ego for me, as easing God out, are huge. Ego, and humbling myself, saying, hey, I don't have all the answers. Well, I'll tell you guys right now, I do not have all the answers. And there was I'm not going to mention the person by name, but there was a man who said, and very intelligent, very knowledgeable, I could hardly even say that, very well educated, traveled all throughout the world, everywhere, was a public speaker, and he said, you know what, if God was present and he was going to give me something that I wanted, God gives us a lot of things that we want, a lot of things that we need, but he said, I would ask God to take all the knowledge I have right now for all the knowledge that I don't have. And that really rings a bell to me, because that's his open-mindedness. There's so much stuff that I don't know. And, there's many different areas that I have a lot of growth in. I have a lot of knowledge in. I do. And I do believe that I know a lot in certain areas. And I'm not going to get into all the areas, but you guys that know me probably know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, it doesn't really matter. But when I become closed-minded and think, hey, I've got enough, I know enough, I stop allowing the value. And the value to me is the value of others coming into my life with different perspectives. A friend of mine said, Lair, when you think that you have it all planned out perfect in your head, and you're so sure that you're sure, you're in trouble. And even if you come up with this great idea of something that you want to do, no one's going to force you or tie your hands behind your back, but why don't you pass it by someone and just see how great it sounds coming out of your mouth and talking to someone else about it. They may confirm that it is. They may say, hey, maybe you want to look at things a little different. Open-mindedness is huge. So to make a decision is making the decision. And that's where all change occurs. And then to keep that decision going and to follow, it's a daily walk, right? It's a daily walk. It's a daily maintenance that we have to do. And how do you do that? Well, you know what? Let's say you want to make a decision, actually, and I did this not out of I want to be looking great for the beach next summer, or I felt I was getting a little bit heavy. I work out all the time. I watch my nutrition. I try to eat right, but I was falling off the wagon a bit. And the reason that I wanted to lose a couple pounds is because it was getting hard to tie my shoes. I was bending over and I felt a little winded going upstairs. And I knew I'm not going to say exactly what I wanted to lose, but I knew there was a little extra weight there and I wasn't feeling well with that. So how do you do that? Well, you tap into resources, you tap into people that are doing that have accomplished goals, similar goals to what you're looking at. You get accountability partners, people that are going to hold you accountable. The best thing is to find a bunch of people that have the same goal as you or similar goal and work together as a group, because there's power in numbers, right? There's power in numbers. There's power in people coming together. You find that if you have a lot of people that are going out there, hey Rob, how you doing, buddy? If you have a lot of people that are going out and having greasy food all the time, and they're going out to the pub or going out to wherever, the local Greasy Spoon restaurant, and they're eating terrible, and you hang out with these people all the time. Even if you're a healthy eater, I can almost guarantee, if you're me, for sure, you're going to start eating like that. We start to replicate the people that we surround ourselves with, and they always say most of us, there's 5 people. And those 5 people that you hang around with, you're going to become like. So you know what? You may have to go outside of your comfort zone, and no growth grows in comfort, not usually. Growth does not grow in comfort. It's just like when you're working out, if you go and do a nice easy workout and you don't even feel sore after, and you're like, wow, that was great. Yeah, you probably are not going to grow. But anyways, find some people that have a similar goal. And if you have people that are trying to eat healthy, trying to exercise, trying to take care of themselves, and you have these 5 people around you and you guys hang out, you guys spend some time together, you'll probably find that, you start eating healthy, you start exercising, and you start going and walking towards your goals. So there's always, I don't know, I just encourage you to look at your life. Do you want to make any decisions today? Is there an area in your life that you're like, I'd like to change that? First of all, don't let this tell you that you can't do it. Don't let this tell you that, you've been doing this for so long that you'll never be able to put it aside. Don't let your ego come in and say, hey, what are people going to think about me? Because I'll tell you one thing, and then I learned this. You can't save your ass and your face at the same time. So decide, hey, is this something I want to do? And you know what? You'll find no matter what you're going through, whether it's addictions, alcoholism, food addictions, whether it's anger that you're facing every day, whether it's stress beyond belief, whether it's depression, you just feel so depressed you just don't want to even get out of bed, whether it's sarcasm, you try to tear people to pieces all the time, whether it's insecurities, whether it's attention-seeking behavior, whatever it is, there's people who have been through it. And also, if you're hanging around and you have friends that are empathetic, compassionate, friends that love you, which I would encourage you to have friends similar to that, they're going to understand. They're not going to think any less of you. They're not going to think that you're inferior, that you should have all the answers. They're not going to do any of those things, because what they're going to be is supportive. So find people. There's always people that you can find that are going through similar circumstances, and there's always people that you can find that have reached the other side of the obstacle that you're trying to get over. And I found with human beings that I've bumped into is most people do want to help. I like to help people get through to the other side of struggles that I had, because that's my maintenance. That's what I have to do the rest of my life after making that decision, is I give hope away to people through my experience, strength, and hope that I give freely. And that keeps me plugged in to the decision I made so many years ago. There's some decisions I made 17 years ago, 18 years ago. There's some decisions I just made yesterday that I'm just starting to walk, right? But in order to keep those decisions, and especially the decision I made 17 years ago to change my whole life around, I need to give that back. I believe it's my duty to God first and foremost, and that was the only thing that I had to do. And that's something that I'm happy to do. And also it keeps me in the solution, because so often the world and people I hang around, and if there's negative people around me, it could draw me back into the problem. And to stay in the solution is by me helping others. So if you guys are struggling with anything, if you want to talk to me, if you want to message me, there's something you're struggling with, I can almost guarantee you that I can hook you up with someone who is, I can guarantee you 2 things. Maybe I could guarantee you 3 things. Let me think about it. I don't pre-plan these, so let's see what comes to my mind. I could guarantee I could find someone who's going through the same struggle. Pretty much. I guess I can't guarantee, but a good chance that I can, let's say that. And a good chance that I can find someone who's been to the other side of that struggle who is willing to help you. So if you have something you're going through, and it might even be something I went through, I'd be glad to help you. Remember, everything, change starts with a decision. And then all you have to do is maintain that the rest of your life. And it's not that hard. And when you start to feel the fruits of making that decision and having that change in your life, you're going to have the fuel that it takes to continue to walk that walk, because you'll realize when the chains have been broken and you've been set free, you'll realize what that feels like, and it's incredible. Love you guys. Have a great day. God bless you. Stay warm, stay dry, stay awesome.